Hello, everyone, and welcome to another 5K tennis discussion. It is Thursday, November the... That's a yawn right there. Katana, are you yawning? Not polite, girl. All right, Thursday, November the 7th, 2019, and we are here for a quick 5K tennis discussion. Everyone, this is Katana. She's my trusty dog that looks out for me while Carla is out on the court coaching. So I figured, Carla's out coaching. I'll try to get some tennis in too. I'll do a show real fast. And yes, I know Carla is the bread and butter of the show. I don't even like looking at myself, much less doing a show by myself. That's why I have the dog here. But still, my heart is with Carla. So I miss her too. So click a like if you miss Carla, because I definitely miss Carla. Jeez, a couple hours without that girl, start having withdrawals or something. Like, yeah. Woo! All right. Real quickly, I've been watching the Next Gen Finals here the past couple of days. And I just saw something, and that is, you guys should all know my feelings by now about coaching on the sidelines. I don't like it at all. I think it's cheesy. I won't get into that. I've been on rants about it in multiple shows. I don't like coaching from the sidelines for males nor females for any way, shape, or form. It's an individual sport, nor should there be anyone else walking out onto the court and kind of, getting all up in one's territory. If I'm playing and I got someone walking onto my court, I don't care who you are, get off. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too fond of it for that reason as well. So I don't like sideline coaching. However, the Next Gen Finals, I think they have headphones that they kind of put on, and then the headphone then corresponds or communicates with the coach. So my question for this is, not that I think this would persuade me to like even a little bit sideline coaching, but do you like the headphones the aspect of it? Do you think that's maybe a less invasive way to allow headphones on the side or on the sidelines to allow coaching from the sidelines? In other words, I mean, I've heard rumors that players will have, a cell phone in their bag and they'll have their text messages up and they get something out of their bag and they just, brush the side of the screen and there's the next message. So, I mean, there's been conspiracies about ways people can kind of cheat the system in a way with sideline coaching for a long time. Nothing new about that. Notebooks in the bag, whatever, you name it. But maybe the headphones isn't quite so invasive. True or false? I don't know. I still don't like it, but I think if you're going to do it, maybe that would be acceptable. But again, I'm not for it no matter what. Never would I be a proponent of sideline coaching at a major at all. And I mean, in my opinion, at any pro level tournament. But I think majors in the women's premiers and the ATP 1000s, I say a definite not. Two real quick. I've seen a lot of injuries here recently. We had, of course, Del Potro and his ongoing knee saga, and hopefully he is doing well. I like Del Potro a lot. We've had Andreescu recently with some knee tweaks. I went down with a disastrous knee tweak. Kim Kleister's in the midst of a comeback, hurts her knee. We watched this kid, at least I watched this kid, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, who is the Spaniard player, I think, training at Nadal's camp. Who was the sub-in for Denis Shapovalov at the Next Gen Finals. He had a knee tweak during his match, I think it was against Casper Ruud, which that was it was a good tennis match. Do I think any of the level of play during that match was fitting of top 20 in the world, top 30 in the world? No. But it was good tennis. I don't care for the first of 4 games deal. I forget, do they have deciding point? I think they even have deciding point if it gets to deuced. So they play no ad scoring, which I think is cheesy. I may be off on that, but I know it's first of 4 games. It's really hard to judge a good player at 4 games because, I mean, I've been down 4-0 in a set and came back and won the set 6-4. So that's another reason why I don't care for the Next Gen Finals. But I thought that was a good tennis match. And during that match, Fokina, the Spanish player, tweaked his knee, and pretty good. And when I watched it happen, I mean, I thought that he wasn't getting up. I'm surprised he even finished. And he finished the match. I think he played again today against a much better player than him, and Momir Kekmanovic. Kekmanovic, I think, won that fairly easily, and I think should have. But Fokina had a wicked knee tweak. Bethany Maddox-Sands had a really bad knee injury, very similar to mine, exact knee injury, except I fractured my wrist at the same time as well. But a lot of these injuries, until I guess you've gone through them in your own right, they're hard to come back. It's hard to understand that they're very hard to come back from. It becomes psychological. That part of the body becomes weaker while you're rehabilitating that part of the body. I got to lift my leg up. My dog's putting weight on it. Sorry for this. I don't have Carla here to help me, so I have to kind of lift my leg up with this contraption right here. Oh, yeah. So I have to lift it so I can keep circulation from cutting off. It gets quite painful. Oof. So when Carla's here, she can move it back and forth to this wedge in the background and not. But anyway, the moral of the story is here. What are some injuries that all you as viewers have had? So I've sat here and I've done playlist videos for my knee injury from before it happened to kind of a post-surgery daily thing in case someone was wanting to know, what was going on if they were experiencing it at this point in time in their life. So I'm curious if any of you as viewers have had injuries in your own right. What were they? Or maybe what was the most devastating injury you've had to deal with, and what happened, and how did you get through it? That type thing. So that was just a curiosity. I know myself, I've had a rod through my pinky from a football injury, rotator cuff on my right shoulder, right hand fracture, along with my patella tendon rupture. So I don't know why I was thinking about that, but there's been a lot of injuries, and I myself have had one here recently, and I was just curious about maybe some injuries that any of you have been through. What's up, Katana? What's up, girl? So when Carla doesn't like Katana on this chair because she gets really upset. She doesn't like dog hair on things. So if Carla pulls up and Katana flies out of here, then you'll know that was Carla. She can hear the door shut from way outside when she pulls up. So, all right. Another quick nugget. This kid, Jannik Sinner from Italy. Homeboy is good. He can play. He is in the next gen semifinal, I think. And again, normally I wouldn't sit back and watch the next gen finals. I think it's relatively cheesy. I mean, look at it. You have three guys that I think the definition of the next gen final is you have to be 21 years of age or under, right? Well, okay, how does that make the 21-year-olds feel that are in it if there's 21-year-olds that are already in the regular gen tennis tour? I mean, so when did the tennis tour become next gen and regular gen? I mean, to me as a player, it's always been just the top and it's way down from the top. I mean, I didn't know we had to start splitting things up. So you have Tsitsipas, you have Felix Auger-Aliassime, and you have Denis Shapovalov, all of which could be in the ATP finals, all of which could, in a sense, play in the next gen finals. Well, Shapovalov was supposed to, but he pulled out of it, and that's how Fokina got into it. But I don't really see the relevance of it in a sense. I just don't. But the kid Jannik Sinner, in that group, along with Mormir Kekmanovic, along with Di Manor, I think you'll see a lot more from these players moving forward, and not in this next gen. I think those three players in this already are kind of in the gen. But the kid Sinner looked good. He played aggressive. He has played aggressive. I think he's undefeated, by the way. He's got the mojo. He's got the court conduct. He's got the right positive demeanor. It looks like he channels his energy really well. I love the way he sets up his points and then takes his shots and has a high level of consistency in setting up the point and delivering the goods to finish the point. Good at the net. Nice overall package for 18. I'm going to give this kid Sinner a watch out alert, because he could very, 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 very well be in the next 3-4 years contending for majors, if not sooner. He looks good. Watch out for Jannik Sinner. Agree or disagree? Another thing, Carolina Pliskova splits up with Conchita Martinez. I have always liked Conchita Martinez. She's won Wimbledon once, I think it was. Fairly certain. And a great person in the game. I don't think there is any ill will in that split whatsoever. By the way, Conchita Martinez is one of the nicest people I've ever been around. There was a couple coaching seminars where she was in the mix in a sense that I went to, and she is just a very positive person, and so is Pliskova. Again, you've heard me talk about energy and just the way that the right coach at some point in time is with the player, not because the player needs to learn how to hit forehands and backhands or where they need to be on the court anymore. It's that they need to kind of know how to navigate or negotiate life from someone that kind of has been there before. So coaching at this level isn't so much as making you hit the ball better. It's just, can you mesh? Can you morph together and do things together? And it's kind of like, in marriage. You don't you get married to just some girl because you think she's beautiful, and then the novelty wears off after a little while, and you realize you don't have a relationship, or you get the maybe a female man marries some guy because it's economically safe, and then after a couple of years, you realize that you want more adventure or whatever it may be. And maybe those metaphors were not very good, but there has to be an energy there and a long-term energy. I think Pliskova has been so close yet so far away to winning majors for a long time. I think Pliskova needs to find that come on energy and not always so even Steven on the court. But I love Pliskova a lot, and I'm still hoping she wins her first major. But now with these Andreescus and the Osakas, and yes, I like to put Sabalenka in there, I know, but I think she has potential. It gets harder and harder for Pliskova now to win it. I think she has a short window to find that positive energy person that brings that fire out. What does this say? Maximum file size. I don't know what that said. I've never done a video on this, so we'll see how this goes. But I think her window of opportunity is closing rapidly. But hopefully she finds that energy, and I will stand up for her because I like her a lot. When and if she does, and hopefully she does it quickly. By the way, watching Momir Kekmanovic, a lot of our Serbian viewers have apprised us of him for a long time, at least for a full year now. So I can't say that I just watched Kekmanovic because I was watching the Next Gen Finals up here. I have been watching Kekmanovic because of you guys. And yes, you are right. He looks good. I love his court conduct. I think we'll see a lot of good things from him as well, starting in 2020. And he had some decent runs at decent tournaments last year. And a lot of you Serbian viewers, and also right around that same part of the world, called that out. So you called it. Great job on that. I did see some weird kind of court tactics from the young man Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, just from a coach. I was kind of watching, these 4-game sets. I saw a couple of times where he would actually run around his forehand to hit his backhand. Most players will run around their backhand to hit the inside-out forehand. I actually saw him run around his forehand to hit the backhand. I don't know if that's just a habit, or maybe if that was coached, or if that's just, normal on his side of the net. I don't know. It's rare that you see that, and maybe I've seen some other players do it around, but nonetheless, I saw that. So that's a difficult thing to pull off and still kind of maintain a nice court balance, footwork, and so forth. And even so, when you step around the backhand and hit the inside-out forehand, generally you leave the court exposed. You're generally coming off your back foot once you land and recover. So the inside-out forehand is generally I'm going to take the shot and hopefully nail it type shot, and then hope to get back and recover in time if they do get it back. Doing that on the backhand side, I find it a little bit even more so cumbersome to do that. So maybe that's his deal, but I would kind of watch that if I was coaching the guy. I don't think he won a match though at the Next Gen Finals up to this point. But he looked all right, and I think again he was the sub for Shapovalov anyway. Casper Ruud looked pretty good. Tiafoe looked really good one match, and then another match. So I think he plays Ugo Humbert later on. But again, does this really matter? I still think the best players in the Next Gen Finals as players are De Minaur, the Australian, Jannik Sinner, the 18-year-old Italian, and then Kekmanovic. I think those are the best players in this 8 Next Gen, and I think that they're just there because of this age thing. But the best players in the world is where these people need to strive. And since when was it 21 years old is like the cutoff of when you're not? I don't get that. So I don't know if even this next gen thing will even stick around after the big three fade away. And that's inevitable. It's going to happen. But I think the whole thing is here in a sense because you have the big three, so they're always in the final. So, but let's look at again the 21-year-olds that coulda, shoulda, or woulda been in it, given a little bit different of a year. Tsitsipas, Shapovalov, and Felix Auger-Aliassime. They're all 21 or under as well. So. I think it's a fun tournament. I think it's a nice exhibition to show some young talent, but I don't think it's anything more than that. And I mean, geez, there's more than 8 people under 21 in the world that you could put and equally match with these players that are there anyway. But I like what I see the most from Demonor, Sinner, and Kekmanovic, and Tiafoe when he wants to play. Real quick to end, we have Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic that are still in a battle for the year-end number 1. Does that matter? Think about it. Does it really matter? I mean, I think they have all broken the records that they want to break. It matters when you're 1 or 2, yes, because at majors, which upcoming at the Australian Open, if you're 1, then you're up at the top of the draw, and then if you're 2, you're down bottom. But you're still far. No matter if you're 2-1 or 1-2, I think at this point, you have the most weeks at number 1, and then you have, of course, place and draw. But generally, if you're 1 and 2, you're pretty much even Steven, because one can say, well, if you're 1 down here and 2 down here, that means 3 has to be up here and 4 has to be down here at a major. Well, that's untrue, because how many times have we seen, say, Djokovic as 1, Djokovic is 1, Federer at 2, and then Nadal smacked right back above Federer at 3, and then number 4 Murray, or however it worked out over the years. So you can't really say that 1 and 2 really matter unless it's staying, unless you're trying to meet some type of record like this X many weeks at number 1 in the world, or the oldest person to be number 1 in the world. And maybe I'm missing some things, and you can call me out on that. But I think what really matters here is the body's health for both of these players heading into the Australian Open. Plain and simple. Rafa can tie Federer with 20 right there. Djokovic can win his 8th Australian Open. He can then have 17 majors there. I don't think either player wants to further rupture an abdominal strain or aggravate a non-playing hand shoulder as Djokovic was dealing with during the U.S. Open or whatever it was. Plus the body, after 11 months now of playing nonstop and still has the ATP finals to go with the Australian Open looming. I don't think either one really particularly cares. I think they're going to do what their sponsors tell them to do. They're going to go there. They're going to sell tickets, and they're going to attract the crowds, and they're going to do what they do to promote their brand, as they should, because it's their job to do so. But I do not think they're going to break out their football helmets and their knee-grinding pads and their can of whip ass and ready to throw down in just a bloodbath for the ATP finals. I just do not. Let's look at the last 2 ATP finals. Who won them? Zverev last year beat Djokovic, but I can tell you Djokovic, if he would have given 100%, he would have destroyed him, just like he'll continue to beat Zverev if he plays him at the Australian Open. 2017, Dimitrov won it and beat David Goffin. Again, it just goes to show you that it really doesn't matter here, especially for the biggest of the biggest names, namely Djokovic, Federer, Nadal. Haven't Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, outside of Wawrinka winning one, and I think someone else won one in there, won every major for like the past 50 or some odd number. So that history isn't even close to the same when it comes to the ATP finals. So I think it's great tennis, exhibition tennis. Play some music, come out, shake hands, ball boys, and share the love of the game. But the true grind, in my opinion, is not going to start until the Australian Open begins. Oh, and I wrote here, Rafael Nadal has never won the ATP finals. Never won it. Sorry, Catch Drifter. I didn't mean to startle you, girl. He's never won the ATP finals. So, again, I don't really see that there. Put it this way, if I had to bet my life on it, which I wouldn't do that, but if I had to bet, I wouldn't bet that Novak Djokovic or Rafael Nadal would win this end of the year finals. I wouldn't be shocked if Berrettini won it. Again, didn't Jack Sock make this like 2 years ago after he won the Paris Masters 1000 in 1 year? And anyway, so I'm not too excited about it, but hopefully it's good tennis. Let's see. Real quickly, I'm going to end this show. I think I might have already talked about this. I put I put here those next generation players. That is guys that are under 21 years of age that aren't in the next generation finals now because they are already in the normal generation of players now, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I've already said it. Tsitsipas, Shapovalov, Felix, Auger, Elysium. I think Skinner will be in this group of players that are already good enough to get out of this cheesy next gen stuff. You know, they should just suck challengers into this, or give the people that are grinding it on tour that have no money or living on people's couches and looking up any place to stay and hitchhiking to get to the next tournaments. Give some of those guys draws into this next gen tournament because it's really the guys that are in it. They should be winning it. It should be like an embarrassment for Tiafoe to be in this and then not like win it. It should be an embarrassment for who was the other one in here with De Minaur. I mean, in my opinion, De Minaur and Tiafoe should win it hands down. But are they? No. I mean, this guy Skinner could do it, but deservedly so. So I don't know. I'm just trying to make good sense in the next gen finals. But I've already talked about that. So that's kind of it. I hope all's well. Again, I just wanted to chat some tennis. Carla's been doing so well holding down the 5K tennis students on her own and doing so much around here. Thanks so much for all your support and listening to me ramble for 21 minutes. So until next time, I'll see you soon. And thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much to YTEX Strings as always. And I will see you guys soon. Much love. And that's it. Adios. See ya. Bye, Katana.